We'll begin with these verses from the Holy Quran. But when Jesus perceived disbelief on their disciples' part, he said, "Who will be my helpers in Allah's way?" The disciples said, "We are Allah's helpers. We believe in Allah and bear thou witness that we are submitting ones. Our Lord, we believe in that which thou hast revealed, and we follow the messenger. So write us down with those who bear witness." And the Jews planned, and Allah also planned, and Allah is the best of planners. Did the disciples accept Jesus's entire teaching? Well, obviously not. So what part of Jesus's teachings did the disciples disbelieve? Now let us carefully consider these verses in light of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's imminent ascension to the great mother plane and the events that accompany this process, which includes his crucifixion. Now, the Gospel of John in the Bible, more than the other three Gospels, mentions Jesus's continuous plea to the people as well as to his disciples through the phrase, "Ye believeth not." There were specific truths that the disciples could not understand. So rather than inclining towards faith in Jesus, some of them went into disbelief, even while they walked with Jesus. The decision to disbelieve rather than pursue faith made them vulnerable to the schemes of Satan, whose aim was to destroy their faith and consequently erode the little bit of unity they had achieved as Jesus's followers. This is alluded to in verse 54, again, where it states, "And the Jews planned, and Allah planned, and Allah is the best of planners." Well, what specific truths did the disciples disbelieve that were prerequisites, if you would, for their ability to stand strong in the face of the persecution that Jesus told them would come? It states in the Gospel of John, "These things said Jesus in the synagogue as he taught in Capernaum. Many therefore of his disciples, when they had heard this, said, 'This is a hard saying. Who can hear it?' When Jesus knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, 'Doth this offend you? What and if ye shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the Spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you they are spirit, they are life. But there are some of you that believe not.' For Jesus knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him." These verses relate to the reality of the Great Mother Plane, or UFO, which the governments of the world have admitted exists. These governments, including the United States, have also admitted that the power of the Great Mother Plane is incomprehensible, as it is eons beyond their military capabilities and power. Verse 62 is the fulfillment of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's declaration to the world that he was brought to the Great Mother Plane by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in September 1985 and given instructions and guidance for the world. He stated this at a press conference delivered on October 24th, 1989 at the JW Marriott Hotel in Washington, D.C. In numerous lectures, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan declared that his actions to this day were and are born of the guidance he received from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad while on the Great Mother Plane in 1985. Verse 62 also relates to the true reality of the first and second coming of the Son of Man from the Father to the people of the earth. As such, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's return to the great mother plane ends one assignment and begins his next assignment as the Christ. Now here it is prudent to keep in mind the specific truth we stated towards the end of the previous message, the last message. This truth is that according to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the original people planned their destiny in 25,000-year cycles of time, then live out this plan. As such, this monumental plan manifests as prophecies that, when made known, ideally could set our expectations for the future. In fact, most of the Gospel of John is fulfilled by the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, because the character of Jesus depicted in this gospel in particular thoroughly represents his relationship with the Father to the people. That is, from the time of his return from the Father the first time to the time of his departure to the Father after his crucifixion. Hence, the Gospel of John, in the Gospel of John, this Son of Man is prophesied to state, I came forth from the Father and am come into the world. I leave the world and go to the Father. So that is the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's coming forth from the Father in 1985, and now telling us of his imminent departure to the Father. Well, as it pertains to the fulfillment of this verse, here is an excerpt from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan describing aspects of his first visit to the Great Mother Plane in September 1985. This comes from the press conference he held in 1989, the International Press Conference in Washington, D.C. He states, he said to me, he meaning the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that he would not permit me to see him at that time. However, he said that I had one more thing to do, and when that one more thing was done, that I could come again to the wheel and I would be permitted to see him face to face.